8 premium mulches, bale pine needles, and soil amendments to choose from, and of course the largest selection of natural stone in our area. Visit us today, and as always, we truly appreciate your business.
Now at 4:30 on WKYT this morning, WKYT tracking deadly storms in Johnson County, and we'll hear from survivors of those storms from this week coming up.
And we're learning more this morning about the shooting in Chattanooga. We'll hear from federal investigators and what people in Lexington plan to do to try and honor victims.
And a man is recovering after a plane crash in Laurel Lake. He says he's not badly hurt, but now he could face charges for that accident. And that story is coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you, and it's nice to have you with us here on this Friday. That sounds good. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. I think most of us are ready to wrap up this week, which got off to such a tragic start, unfortunately, out in Johnson County.
Certainly did. And as we move into the weekend, maybe a chance for those folks to, get some things done, get cleaned up and so forth, and for everybody maybe to enjoy some better weather. Summertime feel out there. Here's meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, and that's the way it's going to look like as we slide today and off into your weekend. There's not a great chance to rain. There's a few chances here and there, but for the most part, most of us do stay dry. It'll be warm, I can guarantee that. We look across the region and we're holding on to temperatures there around 70 degrees right now, sitting there in Frankfort. And then we kind of just take a trip around the area off into the afternoon, and we'll be sitting right there around that 90-degree reading. It's going to be a warm one in store, not only for today, but heading throughout the next few days. I'll take you into your latest forecast, show you when the rain comes in just a few minutes.
See you then. Thank you.
Well, the search continues today for a man who is still missing just days after devastating flash flooding in Johnson County.
Police say 34-year-old Scott Johnson is the only person still confirmed missing at this point. 3 people died in the flooding, including Johnson's grandmother, 74-year-old Willa Pennington. WKYT's Garrett Weimer spoke to Johnson's father about the search.
He told me, he said, Dad, I stopped in to help you.
Kevin Johnson hasn't seen his son Scott since Monday, the night of the flood.
You know, the water swept me off my feet, and my brother swept him off his feet, and Scott, he went on, and he looked back at us, and he said, I'm getting my nana out of the trailer.
Johnson says Scott did get his nana and a child out of the trailer, but that's when he ran into trouble.
He caught on to a little tree there. And they said he hung there for probably 10, 15, 20 minutes, I'm not sure. And he was doing good, hanging on to him.
While they were hanging on, Johnson says his trailer broke loose, sweeping straight toward them.
He was going to stay with them to the end, and he did. They found my mother probably 3 miles from where that happened.
The child was rescued that night. Johnson's mother, Willa Mae Pennington, was found dead on Tuesday. Scott is still missing.
I want to find him. I keep hoping for God to show me a miracle and find him alive, but I realize that probably ain't going to happen.
We're hearing about stories of survival as well out of Johnson County. Marilyn Stambo says she and her family were inside their home as the water quickly rose Monday night. At one point, it was getting close to the ceiling and her family couldn't escape.
There were no way. It was moving too fast. If you'd have got out, you'd have went with it. And I said, if I'm going to die, I'll die here. I don't want to be there. They won't find you.
She says her son knocked a hole in the ceiling and the family used that to breathe. After a half an hour, she says the water finally went down and they were able to leave the home. The home does have extensive damage, but Stambaugh plans to rebuild.
We are learning more this morning about the suspect in a deadly shooting in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yesterday afternoon, the FBI said Mohammed Youssef Abdulaziz shot and killed 4 U.S. Marines in a military center in Chattanooga. He then later killed himself. The FBI is trying to find out exactly what led to the shooting. The Department of Defense has increased security at some federal facilities as a precaution. Commanders at Bluegrass Army Depot in Madison County say they were told to continue their normal protocol, but to remain vigilant. The Islamic Society of Central Kentucky tells WKYT they're joining together today to remember those victims. 3,000 people are expected to gather at Heritage Hall just before 9 this morning. They say they'll pray for the Tennessee victims and their families. New this morning, fire investigators in Paris are trying to figure out exactly what caused a fire that destroyed a barn overnight. Crews say they were called out to the Paris stockyard on Millsburg Road just after 10:30 last night. Firefighters say when they got there, they found a side barn engulfed in flames. Crews quickly put out the fire, but they say a side barn was just destroyed. No livestock or people were injured. The cause of that fire is under investigation this morning.
4:35 now on WKYT, and this morning the NTSB is investigating a plane crash that may cause a man to face charges. It happened yesterday on Laurel Lake, not far from Holly Bay Marina. As bad as the crash looked, investigators say the pilot was not seriously injured. WKYT's Monique Blair has that story.
We've seen a plane down.
Around 6:30 Thursday night, the pilot of this small plane was trying to land on Laurel Lake when officials say he struck a log in the water, forcing him to crash the plane.
It was sinking, so the guy said that he was okay, but he had hit a log when he was trying to land. And so he was, shook up, but he's lucky to be alive. And
I'm told the pilot was the only person in this plane when it landed on Laurel Lake, and it's called an amphibious plane, and that means it can land on land or it can also land on water. The pilot was able to walk away without any injuries, but I'm told landing planes on Laurel Lake is against the law, and now the pilot may face charges.
It is illegal. You cannot land on a body of water regulated by the Corps of Engineers or the U.S. Forest Service.
Several people, including Paul Taylor, were on the lake when the plane crashed, and they helped the pilot tow the plane to shore.
And he'd got on that pontoon boat, and so we just got the ropes and stretched him out to keep the plane from sinking. So it was definitely going down.
In Laurel County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Investigators say the pilot built that plane. They say it does have significant damage. A golden alert has been issued for a missing Russell County man. Jamestown police say 57-year-old Thomas Polston was reported missing yesterday. They say he suffers from severely high blood pressure, and that requires daily medication. Police have not released any details about where and when Polston was last seen.
Well, a grand jury's indicted a man charged in connection to a deadly hit and run in Scott County that killed a cyclist. Our news partners at the Herald Leader report Odilon Paz Salvador has been indicted on murder, wanton endangerment, and leaving the scene of an accident charges. He's being held on $500,000 bond. Police say in May, Salvador hit and killed Mark Hinkle, who was riding in the Horsey 100 at the time. Police say Salvador did not have a license.
Salvation Army leaders in Richmond say they are dealing with thieves at their donation center. Surveillance video here shows some of the thefts at the organization's drop box. The Salvation Army says during the 4th of July weekend, 8 people drove up to the drop box and took clothing, as well as computers, furniture, and other items. Those items would have been sold in the Salvation Army store to help others.
It may have been a few $100s, but those few $100s go a long way with helping somebody with rent and utility assistance, or helping somebody else have some clothes that they might not have had.
The Salvation Army spokesman says incidents like this have happened before, but nothing of this magnitude.
Well, Lexington Group says they want to prove a park is safe for families after a tragic shooting there. Last month, 5 people were shot during a basketball game at Douglas Park. One of them later died. Since then, questions have been raised about the park's safety. So last night, the We Care organization set up a family movie night. Organizers say they want Douglas Park to be a safe place for everyone.
With the incident that happened several weeks in this park, it brought back some negative effects, but now we want to take our park back, and because the park didn't do anything to us.
Well, along with the showing of the movie Annie, night's events also included food and games for families. Another movie night will be held at the park next Thursday. Well, today, WKYT and the American Red Cross joining forces to show victims of this week's floods that Kentucky cares. Red Cross volunteers will take donations over the phone from noon until 6:30 tonight here at WKYT. It is our way to help those whose homes or families or communities really were impacted by this flooding.
It's been a tough week for sure. It's 4:39 now, and WKYT This Morning is just getting started.
So how do you get your kids to exercise? Our Moms Everyday panelists share their tips after the break.
And we have more information on the investigation that's ongoing this morning into that deadly shooting in Chattanooga. A full report coming up in just a few minutes.